Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into Canva AI.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Definitely. Our sources really frame Canva's main promise here. Basically, letting anyone design like a pro, even with absolutely zero experience. Thing like stunning presentations, flyers that grab attention, social media stuff, even videos.
Right.
And our mission today is to unpack how Canva's built-in AI actually makes that happen. And crucially, a lot of these tools, they're free.
That's key. And what's really transformative, I think, is how Canva's integrating these AI features. It's not just adding them on.
How so?
Well, they're building them in ways that directly tackle those old roadblocks to graphic design, like needing special skills or just tons of time.
Yeah, time is always a big one.
Exactly. It's about making that sophisticated creative power genuinely, accessible to almost anyone.
That's a great point. And for anyone who's stared at a blank screen trying to think of what to even put there, words are often the first step, right?
I know.
Our sources point to Magic Write being, kind of a revelation for this. You just type a prompt, maybe a 10-slide presentation on the future of education.
Okay.
And bam, in moments, Canva generates the slides, the layout, even some starting text. Imagine the head start that gives a teacher prepping a lesson, or maybe a coach mapping out a strategy.
It really changes the game. It's not just about being faster. It fundamentally flips the script on the creative process. It goes from, pure creation from scratch.
Which can be intimidating.
Totally. To more like intelligent curation. Magic Write does that heavy lifting of the initial concept, which honestly stops a lot of people.
Right.
It takes you from that blank page to a working draft almost instantly. So you can put your energy into refining it, personalizing it. That's where your unique input really matters.
Okay, so you've got your text, your basic structure, but then the visuals. That's the next big hurdle, isn't it?
Often, yeah.
And that seems to be where Magic Design comes in. Can't find the perfect template, just upload an image you like, or even just describe what you're thinking.
Describe it.
Yeah, describe your idea, and Canva whips up these polished, ready-to-go templates, good visuals, matching fonts, the works. It's like having an instant design consultant. Frees you from scrolling forever.
That's fascinating. It sort of brings up this idea of how does it affect individual creativity,
Interesting question.
By giving such a strong, good-looking starting point, Magic Design lets people skip the basic layout worries. It sort of nudges them to play around with different looks without sinking hours into it, almost like guided creativity.
I like that, guided creativity. And what if you need a very specific photo, but you just can't find it? I know I've wasted hours searching stock photo sites.
But tell me about it. The struggle is real.
That's where text-to-image sounds, frankly, remarkable. You just describe the image you need.
Just type it out.
Yep. And Canva's AI, using some really cutting-edge tech, creates a totally unique image for you right then and there. Need some, quirky illustration that just doesn't exist anywhere. Now you can conjure it up.
That is a huge deal for content creators. Think about the limits of stock photos, or even worrying about copyright.
Absolutely.
This gives you visual uniqueness. It lets you create hyper-specific images that perfectly match your message. That's massive for branding, for storytelling.
Speaking of branding, keeping everything looking consistent across different platforms, that's another headache.
A big one, especially for small businesses or solo creators.
Our sources highlight branding made simple. Apparently, you upload your logo, your brand colors, just once.
Okay.
And Canva automatically applies them to everything you make. Presentations, posters, social media, videos, all consistent. Professional branding without fiddling with every single design.
And that consistency is just vital. It builds recognition, it builds trust, it removes all that manual effort of keeping things looking cohesive everywhere. Lets you focus on the message itself.
Exactly. And finally, the sources talk about easy video creation.
Video. The final frontier for many.
Right. But apparently, you can just drag and drop your way to really high-quality videos for YouTube, Reels, TikTok, maybe even training videos. No editing skills needed beforehand.
That's revolutionary.
It feels like it, the ease with which anyone can now churn out decent-looking video.
The democratization of video, that might be the most profound shift here. High-quality video used to be so complex, so expensive, it was out of reach for most individuals and small groups.
Totally inaccessible.
And now, it's drag and drop. That completely changes how people can communicate, tell their stories, engage audiences visually. It's huge.
So tying this all together for you, our listener, what does it really mean? Canva AI seems to genuinely empower people. We're talking teachers making lessons more engaging, business owners building their brand identity.
Authors promoting books, coaches sharing ideas.
Exactly. Creating professional-looking visuals and videos without needing that design degree or spending endless hours. It's about getting your message out there effectively and beautifully.
Yeah, and if we just step back for a second, look at the bigger picture. These tools are doing more than just making design easier. They're fundamentally changing who gets to be a sophisticated creator.
Right.
When AI tools this powerful become this accessible, the barrier to entry for professional-looking communication just plummets, which, raises a really interesting question for the future.
What's that?
Well, as these kinds of creative tools become available to basically everyone, what happens to the traditional role of the professional designer? And how is this going to reshape the entire visual world around us? Something to think about.